Hello everyone, welcome to today's weekly deck list video. Today we're doing Glad Beast. This is a really fun deck based around the battle phase, where most of your main deck and extra deck Glad Beast can shuffle back into your deck to tag out for another Glad Beast at the end of battle phase, and relies on contact fusing into some of your big boss monsters from the extra deck. Without further ado, let's hop right in. Starting off, we play 3 copies of Glad Beast and All. And All is 1900 beat stick that has no effect. He is really important for a combo you can do with Rescue Rabbit, Unexpected Die, or the Gladiator Rejection. Otherwise, he's just kind of a good Glad Beast name that you can use for link material or fusion material. Next up, playing 3 copies of Rescue Rabbit. Rescue Rabbit is for that combo I just mentioned with Glad Beast and All. If you don't happen to run into the rejection, you have the ability to then link into Test Panther and carry on your plays. So Rescue Rabbit's just a great card in this deck. Next up, I play 3 copies of Glad Beast Darius. His effect is that if you special summon by the effect of a Glad Beast, you can special a Glad Beast from your grave, and you can target a Glad Beast in grave and special summon it, but its effects are negated, and if Darius leaves the field, it's shuffled back into the deck. Darius also has the effect that if it's attacked or attacks in the battle phase, it shuffles back to special a different Glad Beast. That's their little tag-out effect that most Glad Beasts have. We play 3 copies of Noxious. If your opponent clears a direct attack, you can special summon Noxious. It can't be destroyed by that battle, and if it's special summoned by the effect of a Glad Beast, you can send one from your deck to the graveyard. And then at the end of the battle phase, if it battled, you can shuffle it back to special a different Glad Beast. We're then playing 2 copies of Augustus. This is kind of your main deck boss monster of the deck. If you special summon by the effect of a Glad Beast, you can special another one from your hand in defense position, but shuffle it into the deck during the end phase. And then he has the same battle phase effect, where at the end of the battle phase, if he attacked or was attacked, he can shuffle back to special summon 1. Playing 2 a Quest. On summon from a Glad Beast, he will add a Glad Beast card from grave to hand, and then he has the shuffle and special effect that they all do. 2 Sagittari. If it's special summoned by a Glad Beast, you can discard a Glad Beast card to draw 2, and then the shuffle and special effect. Then for the 1-ups, we play 1 copy of Bestiary. This is MST if it's special by a Glad Beast. Laquari gets 2100 base attack if it's special by a Glad Beast. Hoplopus, which gets 21 base, or 24 rather, base defense if it's special by a Glad Beast. And 1 Vespasis, which gives all your Glad Beasts 500, and if a Glad Beast battles, Vespasis special summons itself. That's it for the monsters. It's a very monster-heavy deck compared to others, but you do need Glad Beast names to play the game. Moving on to spells, we've got the best one in your deck, Gladiator Rejection. Let me go ahead and talk about this one real quick. Your opponent can't target Glad Beast with effects, except during the battle phase, and if Glad Beast is special summoned from the deck, main deck rather, you can special another Glad Beast from your deck with a different type than the ones you control. This is fantastic, especially if you use Rescue Rabbit. Summoning 2 copies of Vandal, you can then summon usually a Augustus or a Noxious so that you can continue your plays. All that plus a protection effect. Next up, the Rhoda for the deck, Gladiator Proving Ground. It adds a level 4 Glad Beast from deck to hand. Really great card. Play 3 copies of Respite. This is kind of like Moray of Greed. Shuffle 2 Glad Beast cards from your hand to the deck to draw 3. This is really great if you open up some bricks like your Vespasis or any one of the 1-ofs that you really don't want to open. We play 3 copies of Comeback. It is a reborn or a special from hand as long as it's a different type than the ones you control, and that monster then cannot be destroyed by battle. So if you really need to trigger one of your Glad Beasts, you can summon like a Bestiary off of this, and then go into battle to tag it out for another one at the end of battle. For the and all play, we do play 3 unexpected die. If you control no monster, special level 4 lower normal monster from your deck, it does get a little bricky turn 2, but it's one of the best combo starters in the deck. Glad Beast United. During battle phase, you can contact Fuse from your field or grave or hand, ignoring summoning conditions. So that's a really great way to kind of go for lethal during the battle phase. And finally, we play 2 traps, and it's 2 copies of Dalmatia. It forces your opponent's monsters to attack, so long as you can control a Glad Beast, and you can reveal 1 Glad Beast in hand to make 1 monster gain attack equal to its defense. And it also allows you to, by shuffling it, yeah. So, usually, Hop Lapis gives them a big boost. That's the real reason I play Hop Lapis, but that's the main deck. Let's go over the extra deck real quick. Play 2 copies of Test Panther. It takes 2 Glad Beast monsters, or 2 monsters including a Glad Beast, but in here it's really just 2 Glad Beast monsters. When it's linked summon, add a Glad Beast card from deck. You can target 1 Glad Beast you control, shuffle that into the deck, special a different one from deck. This is treated as though it was summoned by a Glad Beast. This is a really great way to get to some of your combo pieces. Next up, we do play 3 copies of Geyserus. When it's summoned, you can destroy 2 cards your opponent controls. And then after it battles, you can shuffle it back to summon 2 Glad Beasts from deck. Play 2 copies of Tamer Editor. This takes 2 level 5 or higher Glad Beast monsters. Once per turn, you can special any Glad Beast from your extra deck, ignoring summoning conditions, which is fantastic. And then if this card is battled, you can shuffle it back, summon a Glad Beast from deck or extra deck. 2 Andabata. Andabata, when it's summoned, allows you to special a 7 or lower Glad Beast fusion monster from your extra deck. Usually you go for Geyserus. And then at the end of battle phase, it shuffles back to special 2 from deck. Dominacious is a monster negate, and you get to pick your opponent's attack targets, which is incredibly important when you have a card up like Dalmatia, which will force them to attack usually your Dominacious. Heraclingos is fantastic. He's a non-once per turn discard to negate a spell or trap card. So he's a really great great thing to end your board on. Gaio Diaz is a Flame Wingman. He burns your opponent when he destroys a monster by battle. Then he shuffles to summon 2. And Neurokias. He cannot be destroyed by battle if this card attacked or was attacked. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. At the end of the battle phase, shuffle this guy into the extra deck, summon 2 Glad Beasts from deck. So that's the deck. Let me go ahead and show you a couple combos. So the first one is if you open Rescue Rabbit and Gladiator Rejection, you'll activate your Rejection, normal Rescue Rabbit, you'll banish your Rescue Rabbit, which will summon 2 Glad Beast Andals from your deck. You'll then trigger Rejection, which will summon Augustus from hand. If you have another Glad Beast in hand, you won't be able to summon it because it won't be summoned off of a Glad Beast monster's effect. You can then link your 2 Andal away, grabbing your Test Panther. Test Panther effect will then allow you to grab your Comeback, activate the Comeback to revive your Andal, shuffle back the Andal with the Test Panther effect, summon Darius. Darius effect will then summon Andal back. You're then gonna contact fuse these 3 away into Andabata. Andabata effect will get Geyserus. If you are going second, you can use Geyserus effect, but you don't need to here. Shuffle these 2 back, summon Tamer Editor. Tamer Editor to then summon either Dominacious or Heraclingos, really depending on what kind of deck your opponent's playing. And that's the end board. So you're going to end with at least 1 negate. And you can either pick your opponent's attack targets. I usually end on Dominacious because Test Panther is kind of a weak link here. But that's the combo if you open 1 Rescue Rabbit and 1 Rejection. Now let's say you only open the Rescue Rabbit, no Rejection. You'll still normal Rescue Rabbit. you will vanish the card to activate its effect, summoning Andal and Andal from deck. You'll then link summon the two Andals into your Test Panther. Use Test Panther effect to grab your comeback. You will activate the comeback, special summon Andal. You'll shuffle the Andal back to grab a Darius. Darius will go grab your Andal. Now, if you have a Glad Beast in hand, which you should, you would go for Augustus. But here, you'd go for Darius, assuming you have nothing in hand. And frankly, you would have to end on this. It's not great, but this is it's not a great end board, but it works. This is all assuming you start with nothing but Rescue Rabbit. You would normally have another Glad Beast in hand, where you would go for Augustus. Augustus would summon whatever you have from hand, which would then give you your at least 2 monsters, which would then let you continue comboing. Thank you all for watching. That was my video on the Gladiator Beast. As always, like, subscribe, let me know what videos you want me to make next, and I'll talk to you later.